Good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to the show. I'm Dana Devine. The Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force sponsors this next half hour, and the task force is in the business of helping to reduce breast cancer disparities between African American women and other women, white women, as we say down there. We are right here in the Chicagoland area if you need a mammogram. If you have not been getting your mammogram every year and you're over 40, for a lot of reasons, but we will go into that. But you call this number right now, 312-942-3368 or chicagobreastcancer.org. All right, you can take a picture of this. I'll show this again and again and again in this next half hour because that is really why we're here. We're dedicated to raising awareness. But, after awareness, you really have to move into action, which is why I say screen in your birthday month every year. That's the action part. You know that you have to do it. You know that cervical cancer is on the rise. You know that breast cancer, 99% of the time, if you detect it early, you're going to live. You know these things. So now, go to the doctor. You should be getting an annual mammogram, an annual pap smear. You should be going to your annual physical examination every year. Every year. Because when things change in the year, perhaps things change within that year, you will still probably be in the early detection part of any diagnosis if you go within a year. So that is another reason why it's so important to stay on top of it. If you don't have any insurance, don't worry. If you're underinsured, unsure, call this number, 312-942-3368, 942-3368. We have a team of professionals. We have bilingual navigators. They are waiting to assist you. Please call today. If you are, don't worry. I always say don't deny, verify. Now, if you want to support women's health initiatives right here in your community, right? If you want to be an advocate, if you want to use your voice to make change, you might want to join the task force's advocacy council. All right, raise your voice. Join our council. We have the Fierce Ladies in Pink. We go down to Springfield and we raise our voice. Women of color in Chicago are disproportionately affected by breast cancer because of unequal access to high quality care. It's just not fair. The system needs to change. Get involved in our Chicago advocacy efforts. Call 312-942-5599. 312-942-5599. Call today. Get involved. All right, I want to thank you for tuning in on this rainy evening, or slowing down in some parts of the city. We're in our 8th month of the year. The rule of thumb, your birth month, it's 2019. No more excuses. Don't deny, verify. We are a call-in show, by the way. So if you want to join this discussion, you can join the conversation right now. 312-738-1060. 738-1060. We're waiting to hear from you. Call in with something great to say. Okay, we want to hear from you. So today, we'll meet another shero, is what I call them, a survivor. Someone who knows what it is to fight for your life. All right? I love that every guest on this show has a different testimony, a different perspective, a different purpose, but we all still deliver one crystal clear message. Early detection saves lives 99% of the time. Bada bing, bada boo. Don't deny, verify. So today we're talking to Debra Ray. Did you know Debra Ray has sung for some of the most famous artists in the world, like The Whispers, Phyllis Hyman? Wow. Brick House. What was their hit? Brick.
No, it wasn't Brick House.
Oh, it wasn't Brick House.
No, I don't remember. It's been so long ago.
One Way, Curtis Blow, the OJs. She's an entrepreneur. She's got businesses. Please welcome to the show. Now we can clap for her. Thank you so much for joining us,
Good to be
Debra
here.
Ray. So, while we could talk about your music, every woman on this show has one story that I think is so important to tell. One part of your testimony. I know you've got a big testimony, but the part today we want to hear about is your journey with breast cancer.
Okay.
So you take it away. I open up the floor for you. Can you just tell us when and how you were diagnosed?
Well, first of all, breast cancer is a big, big part of my family's life. We've lost over 20 people to
Whoa.
cancer, different forms of cancer. Actually, we've lost 4 people to breast cancer.
Well, when you say, I could say 20 over a family or 20 in your immediate family, what's the...
Over my family. In my immediate family, I've lost 3 people to breast cancer. My sister, my oldest sister, and my aunt, my father's sister. And the others died of some form of cancer, but the 3 of us had breast cancer. I actually had breast cancer twice. I had it in 2003, I had a mastectomy, and I had it in 2011, I had a lumpectomy.
So 8 years later.
Yeah, so you asked me how was it found. First of all, I had been having breast issues since I was in my 20s. And my sister actually was diagnosed in her early 20s and with breast cancer. So I started getting mammograms early in life.
Okay, like when did you start? What age?
I was about 26
Okay.
or so. And I took breast mammograms up until about 35. And then they stopped and they said, okay, starting back in 40, at the age of 40, you come back. At the age of 42, they found breast cancer. No pain, no lumps or anything through a mammogram. It was stage 1, very small, found it in my lymph node, removed my lymph node, and removed my breast. Only my right breast, because they found it so early that they felt like, if I continued to come on a yearly basis, that they would make sure that, they would find it, early again. So I went from 2003 to 2011, like you said, about 8-9 years before it was redetected.
In the same breast?
Left breast, no, different breast.
Because you had a mastectomy in your right breast.
Yes.
You had your right breast removed.
Yes, I had my right breast removed. And my left breast, I only had lumpectomy because they said that it was another early detection. And they didn't want to put me back through that because that is something, as you should know, about having your breast removed. I mean, women love breasts. Women go and get, augmentations, on their breasts because
We love breasts.
We love breasts, And to have, a breast removed, and I had to have reconstruction because if not, I feel as if I would have been like a monster to wear the bra. You know how they have the bras that have the built-in stuff in it to make it look like you have a breast. So when I went under...
Purposefully, you knew that you
Yes.
did not want to, you were going to have reconstruction. You
had to
have
have
a breast.
I had to have it.
Well, you were single,
Young.
understandable. Understandable, and I think that is a dilemma for single young women.
Yes.
Because you opt in for more surgeries because you do not want to walk around with one breast or no breast or whatever.
But I do suggest that if you're going to have a breast removed, have your reconstruction done while you are under the knife already, because what I'm finding is a lot of people, they get their breast removed and they reschedule to go back and have reconstruction later, and they never have it, or if they do, it's so far away that now you got to go back through that pain. So let that pain be one pain. When they remove it, have it rebuilt while you sleep. When you wake up, you still have a breast.
Okay. So I would say, and we'll just get off track. I tend to want to weigh that because that's the option I chose.
Okay.
I chose to have the surgery and the reconstruction in the same surgery. However, I had multiple episodes of infections. Just infection after infection after infection. Because I really just think your body is adjusting to too much, and to put something back in the body once you've removed something, the body's just freaking out. So now my suggestion would be to not do that, to do one now. If you're never going to come back, maybe so, but really your body needs to heal. And if I was advised to do that, but I felt the same way. I did not want to return home to my husband and my children with no breath. So I elected to have the reconstruction while I had this. But in hindsight, because of the infections, in what I see, I think a good solution would be to heal and then go back. But then you have 2 surgeries. So it's, it's just 6 and 1/2 of another.
But we're talking about 2 different things too, because when I had my breast removed, they took fat from my body
Right.
and moved it into my breast, so I didn't get silicone.
Right.
So because you're using the same stuff inside your body, there's really no infection to.
So you didn't have any infection episodes?
No,
Interesting.
no.
That makes sense.
Right, but if you're going to have silicone or whatever they're using now, because I heard they're using something different, then that material a lot of time creates infection. But if you have fat moved around from your body, it's already in there, you know what I'm saying? And your tissue grows back and you begin to get filling back in your breast, because when you have silicone put in your breast, they say you can't feel anything anymore. But I didn't have silicone. I had fat moved around from my body and moved into my breast, so that those all the blood and the cells and stuff built back together. So for about a couple of years, I could not feel anything in my breast, but now I can. Now the feeling is back because I have real tissue and blood in my breast.
Well, who knew? I say there's the learning curve is continuous on this journey.
Yes.
And when you have to make those decisions, you have to have a very short amount of time to make such very important decisions. So you don't always have the information. That's interesting. Well, I was reconstructing 2, and they didn't think that they could find, which I found hard to believe, couldn't find enough fat to do 2. Right. So that's why I went for
and
the
I can
silicone.
understand that, because
But that was a joke, wasn't it? Please, they didn't look hard enough, right? That's all I kept saying. Really, come on now, really. But that was the story. But had I really known it like that, I would have had insisted. No, fine, I'll find the fat for you, because that makes so much sense. And I don't have much feeling, really none, until the silicone gets cold outside. When it gets really cold outside and it freezes up,
wow,
then it feels a certain type of way.
Okay.
And it's not great. So Debra, all right, let's get back to. You said your doctors didn't want to put you back through that again.
Right.
What challenges did you face? Now, you didn't face infection. Mine were infections, one after the other, from one side to the other side just after each other. Was crazy. But what challenges were yours?
Well, first of all, someone calling you telling you have cancer, breast cancer, is a challenge in itself. I mean, I think I passed out. I was at work when they called, and my doctor told me on the phone, and I thought that was terrible, that you should call me into an office to tell me something like that. So I fired her. But actually, seriously, I for a minute, I can't remember anything because I was in a daze. Even though I knew it was prevalent in my family, even though I lost a sister to breast cancer and later on an aunt to breast cancer, I didn't think it would happen to me. Because I was doing the precautions. I started at 25 years old getting mammograms, and it looked good. I'm like, oh, okay. I made it up to almost 40, and I'm good. And then 42 hits, and it's there. So I think that when they told me I had it, I was blessed because my mother used to be a nurse, and she came to Chicago, which she lives in Kansas City. Hi, Mom. And she was there with me, and she told me, she said, if you're going to have your breast removed, you probably should go ahead and have it reconstructed while you sleep. So when you wake up, you'll feel good because you have breasts. Some women who have smaller breasts, it may not bother. My sister had small breasts. She wanted them gone. She didn't want to wear bras ever again. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have small breasts, and I didn't want to wake up because it was like this, having one eye to me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think the challenge was the fact that I just had to have an operation. I had to have a breast operation, and that was just scary to me, to have a breast removed. I'm like, is there anything else you can do besides remove my breast, And they said, well, you want to live a long life? I'm like, yes, I want to live a long life.
They asked you the right question, right?
Exactly. So I was like, okay, remove it. So when I did have it removed and I woke up, I still had a breast, but it was ugly. It was ugly because there were, cuts. The nipple was gone. Mm-hmm. That had to be reconstructed as well after you heal. And, I hate to say this, but you have tubes in your body to catch the fluids and, blood and everything. And I'm walking around like, with my T-shirt holding out like this because I don't want it to touch me and everything. And I got to the point where I never wanted to wear a bra again. you know. And for a while, I didn't have to wear one. I couldn't because of the pain and the misery. So I didn't go to work for a year because I couldn't wear a bra. You know, thank God I had a great job that understood.
So you were off work for 1 year?
1 year. I was off work for 1 year.
And you're medical and
Yes.
you were able to sustain, and that's a
I
blessing.
worked for AT&T. I was the manager at AT&T, and I had long-term disability, and they paid it up until the last month. The last month it went to half pay, so I was able to live because I had great insurance. You know, so I thank God for that. You know,
So you didn't wear your bra because it was very uncomfortable, and I totally relate to the first time you take those bandages off, and you think I had some Pamela Anderson fantasy like throw some D's on there, throw some D's on there, right? And the first I was like, what? Is this it? You know, so I was highly disappointed the first time I took those bandages off too. It's just I don't know what I thought. I guess I thought I was having like breast augmentation. You know, I fantasized but it was breast cancer surgery. It was not breast augmentation surgery.
Exactly.
It was a little different. So it was a shock, though.
yes, it's still a shock. I don't care what they come out looking like. They can be beautiful, but just the fact your brain, your mind, your eyes went through all of this. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that nice. And I actually had my left breast reduced because I didn't have enough fat on my body to make the size breast that I went in with, which I thought was crazy because when they showed me the picture of my old breast, I was like, who is that? You know, I'm like, that's not my breast. My breast didn't hang like that. I didn't know.
Who's that old lady in that picture? Look like me.
Right. I was like, that is not my breast.
So mastectomy versus lumpectomy.
Of course, with mastectomy, you're going to have more pain, way more pain, because you're having a breast removed.
Write this information down as we listen to Debra.
Lumpectomy, you're just having some tissue removed. Great difference.
Great difference. 312-942-3368 if you need a mammogram while we're talking about this. If you are feeling some type of way right now, feeling like, you know what, I need to go check myself out, I'm going to put it up there again, 312-942-3368, chicagobreastcancer.org. We are waiting to help you right now. You can call right now. There's somebody we're waiting to help you. Okay.
It's imperative that you get your mammograms.
Yeah. It just is, and you know, as I move around the city, outreach and talking to women, do you know how many women say to me, who are over a certain age, after a certain age, they really don't think that they're being advised by their doctors that they don't need to have mammograms after. If you hit 70, 75, you good.
That's not true.
It's so not true.
That's not true.
So not true. That's real bad information.
So not true.
Bad information. You have to get, and in fact, as you age, the possibility of abnormal cells increases. Yeah. So that's what happens. You know, as you age, your cells are potentially reproducing abnormally. So yes,
Right.
Keep going to the doctor.
Exactly.
Keep going to the doctor. So, the most difficult part of your journey?
I think just the fact that I had to be cut on. You know, just the fact that you have to have something cutting on your body. That was just devastating to me, to wake up to know that I went under a major surgery, a knife.
Was that your first ever major surgery?
I had my tonsils removed.
Okay, right. Okay, exactly. Yes, it was, and yes, it was. So, okay, yeah. And so, okay, so you have gone through this traumatic journey, but you have learned something about yourself. I know that you can share. What have you? What you write in your book?
I learned that I am strong, but I'm strong through Christ. believing that God is a healer, believe that He's a mind regulator, because He definitely regulated my mind. And I just trust in Him all the way, because it's very devastating, ladies. But the good thing about breast cancer is it's not a life threatening issue if you take care of it.
That's right. And that is the message here today. That's the message here today.
Yes.
Don't deny, verify. You've got to go annually. You know, I we talk about all the excuses, and there are plenty that I hear women use about why they won't go and get screened.
Let me tell you, number one, they say it hurts.
It hurts.
Yes, it hurts, but guess what? I think dying hurts more.
To your family, to like everybody else. I brought this to share with our viewers. I'm not sure if I push this button, what's going to happen. Yeah, all right. Look at that. You still can't see. Can you see a little bit better? All right. You know, I brought some pictures or, visuals of symptoms of breast cancer because, unbelievably, I hear women say, "Oh, I had some discharge. I didn't realize that this was abnormal."
Wow.
But some of the symptoms, it would include nipple turning inverted nipple. That's
Yes.
what that looks like right in there. Discharge, any discharge from your nipple that is dark or black or mucousy.
It's abnormal to have any type of drip from your breast.
Yes, from your breast, unless you're nursing a new baby.
Exactly.
Lumps in your underarm area. And this is where I noticed my lump when I was taking a shave, and just a little knot, right? Just a little knot. And I said, I dismissed it, but there you go. Swelling of part of the breast, right in there. Say you've just noticed something that looks a little, that means you got to pay attention, though. That's the other side of this. Definitely know what normal looks like. Swelling of all the breasts. If your whole breast is swollen up, I've seen that symptoms. Dimpling in your skin. Pain in your nipple or in your breast area, or any type of skin irritation. Just like a rash that develops.
And can I say this?
Yes, you can.
If you have none of those symptoms, it can still be caught by having a mammogram. That's what happened to me. I had no symptoms at all of breast
You hear
cancer.
that? Say it again.
I had no symptoms at all. However, that mammogram showed up what the cancer that was in my body. So don't think just because you don't have any of these symptoms that you cannot have breast cancer. You can have no symptoms and still have breast cancer. You have to check yourself too.
Yes.
Do that daily.
Breast aware.
Yes. Do that check yourself. So make sure that if you find anything, call your doctor. But make sure you have your mammograms. I actually started having them twice a year. That's just how critical it was
Every
for
6
me.
months,
Yes, for me, because of my family's history.
Well, Deborah, you are a real shero for me because you took the news and the blow not once but twice.
Yes.
The first time, but to go back again
Yes.
is and still stand and be strong is a shero for real. Look at you. You're looking fabulous and
thank you.
beautiful, and you don't look like what you've been through. That's for sure.
I've been through it too.
But that's amazing, and so that's the testimony here. We only have a very short amount of time. One more minute. I just want to remind you guys, if you need a mammogram, 312-942-3368. That's the number to call, and we have somebody waiting to hear from you. What are your last words before we get out of here,
Well,
John?
first of all, I want to thank God for still being here, going through breast cancer twice. I thank you for having me today so that we could talk about it. It's very important, ladies, that you go and get your mammograms, and don't be afraid not to have a mammogram. Because if you don't go and have a mammogram and you find out that you have cancer, you could have maybe gotten ahead of the game. get your mammograms. That's what I say.
Yeah, it's the truth. Don't deny, verify. You hear me say it here all the time. I want to thank our producer, Donna Lynn Schaefer, Maurice Joshua for the music, of course, CAN TV, and the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force. We have some huge announcement coming up. So you need to keep your ear to the right on the sidewalk because it's big and it's big news and it's going to be affecting all of you right here in the Chicagoland area. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next third Tuesday of next month at 5 o'clock, be safe, be blessed, be sure, and don't deny, verify. Thank you, Deborah, for coming out.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
God bless you.